The time has come. We are live, Facebook land. Woo! Welcome to the Southwest Ohio Real Estate Expo. I can't tell you how excited I am to bring this lineup of speakers to you guys today. It is, I believe, absolutely the best group of people that could be put together to deliver some high energy and some high value content to our area and to our marketplace, to our industry, that we just couldn't, I don't think I could have put together a better lineup. So I'm not going to talk a lot. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to introduce our first speaker, our kickoff speaker. This guy, you might have to help him with the energy. He usually doesn't have that much. Just kidding. High energy here. John Marrone is going to lead us off today. And I can't be more excited to have him be that guy. I reached out to him immediately when I knew I was doing this event because I knew he had to be part of it. So a quick bio on John, and then I'm going to shut things out of the way. John Marrone, this is his bio, and I'm going to read it rather than try to recite it because it's awesome. This guy's got a story. After falling into a life of selfishness, anger, living in his car and a motel, jail, poverty, addiction, negativity, helplessness, violence, and an overall victim mentality, John found himself having several life-altering experiences that made him aware he was living a small and unfulfilled life. Ultimately, hitting rock bottom when he found himself sitting in a jail cell. After sitting in an attic with 4 feet of water in the house during Hurricane Sandy, he had the fear of death, and he realized enough was enough, and he no longer wanted to live a mediocre life and felt compelled to ensure that no one else lives a life of mediocrity either. He knew that there was a better way to live, a better way to think, a better way to love, a better way to experience this one shot we have at this thing called life. He set out to arm himself with whatever it took to help people become the best version of themselves. He relentlessly spent the last decade studying and interviewing the most innovating, inspiring, and brilliant minds in the world, picking the brains of world changers, high-achieving athletes, gold medalists, celebrities, billion-dollar business owners from all walks of life. He's dedicated himself to understanding the best practices, habits, and key performance indicators that lead people to maximizing their potential. Now, as a world-renowned speaker and life coach, sharing the stage with people like Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas, Trent Shelton, Robert Kiyosaki, Michael Gerber, and more, John has had the opportunity to touch and shape the lives of thousands of people through his innovative reshape and reprogram approach. His mission is to help you peel back the layers and unveil the authentic and unstoppable you while breaking through the walls built of limiting beliefs and allowing you to truly live your life at the highest level of fulfillment and creating the ultimate version of you. So I'm going to finish this by saying I'm going to encourage everyone that's online right now, share this message, share this broadcast, because John's message is a message that can help a lot of people. And I'm going to challenge you to take some notes, get your paper, get your pen, and sit back and enjoy. John, it's all yours, my man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I do want to say I only got about 20 minutes here. So for these 20 minutes, I want you guys to do your future a favor and get rid of all distractions, right? Take the next 20 minutes and allow me to deliver some content to you to change the next 20 years of your life. The first thing I want to start off with is we create out of our state. And what I mean by that is that whatever state we're in, right, whatever energy level we're at is how we create. So wherever you're sitting at right now, I want everybody to deep breath and roll your shoulders back, posture up, and get ready for the next 15 minutes of my session and the rest of today, because I want you to be fully engaged. And hopefully what I deliver today, you can at least take a little bit of that knowledge and create wisdom by executing. You know, we want to talk today about certainty and how to find it in an uncertain time. And with everything going on, you know, today's Blackout Tuesday, obviously coronavirus, there's a lot of uncertain things out there. And the reason why you're searching for certainty is because it's a human need. Right? We all have these 6 human needs. Some needs are a little bit more amplified than others, right? But no matter what, we all have this need for this certainty. But here's your problem, and hear me loud and clear. You're looking for certainty in all the wrong places. You're looking for certainty in things you don't control. Therefore, you're never going to have it. Think about maybe one time that you had this certainty, right? It was the right woman. It was the right man. Maybe it was the right business partner. It was the right job. Everything was certain. Then it got ripped away from you. And when it got ripped away from you, how'd that feel? Right? Maybe possible depression. You felt lonely, anxiety. And you kept trying to find this certainty in things that you necessarily don't have control over. So by wanting this need for certainty, we have to understand there are things we can, there are things that we cannot control. But by you trying to figure out what the government is doing, what these rioters are doing, what the market is doing, all these things that you truly have no control over, you will continually walk in this uncertain state, which will create the lack of action, will create a negative mindset, will create this always reaching and never knowing versus being in your most powerful presence, which is being here now. See, every time we try to find certainty in things outside of our control, we lose our power because our power is in the present. Our power is in the present. The way our mind works is when we start looking towards other people, other things, and ask, okay, what's next? What should I expect? All of a sudden, it's like a pendulum, and our mind asks the past, hey, past, can I make this $1 million? Can I make these 6 figures? Hey, can I get that business? And your mind says, no, you can't. Stay here. I'm going to keep you safe because that's what it's built to do. Not realizing that we have to fight against what we're used to, because the biggest battle you're ever going to endure is not the one in these riots. It's not coronavirus. The biggest battle you're ever going to endure is the one from who you are today to who you're trying to become. Because see, you and I, we're not human beings. We are human becomings. Every day we need to be more, become more in order to get to where we want, because what you have right now, the house, the cars, the family, everything, you may like it, you may love it, but if you want more, you have to become more. And we're going to go through these difficult seasons in our life. Maybe some of you are in it right now. Maybe some of you just got over it. But no matter what, in life, there are going to be many difficult seasons. And write this down. The way to get through a difficult season is this. Find a reason to push through a difficult season. Find a reason that is strong enough to push through. See, when I was sitting there making these bad decisions, fighting all the time, doing drugs, right, ended up in jail, all of those things, I had no understanding of what my reason was to wake up every day. I thought I knew, but my reason was actually living in other people's opinions. Right? I never truly sat there for a minute and said, what the hell do I want? What does John Marrone want? And when I finally figured out what I wanted, it wasn't that really propelled me. It was, why do I want this? Right? If you have a consistency problem, I would love to hear from you, because I'm telling you, you're a liar. You don't have a consistency problem. I guarantee you check Facebook all the time. I guarantee you're watching that show every Thursday. I guarantee you're doing these things on a consistent basis. Your problem is you have a consistency problem to the wrong things. You have a consistency problem to the wrong things. Well, John, how do I stay consistent? Simple. With a strong enough why, your consistency won't die. You got to have a strong why so your consistency doesn't die. Therefore, during these uncertain times, you know how to push through. But I'm going to give you 3 tips right now, 3 actionable transformational tips on how to win during an uncertain time. So make sure you got your pen and paper. We got about 10 minutes left, guys. So first is W. What do you want? See, most people don't get success because they don't even ask themselves, what does success look like in my health, in my relationships? What does it look like in my business on a daily basis? Yeah, you may have sat there in October, November and set your goals up for the year. But do you ask yourself on a weekly, on a daily basis of what success looks like in all areas of life? Too many of you are going through this roller coaster ride of life and business, and it's because you don't focus on the right things because you don't even know what those right things are. So the W stands for want. What do you want? I'm talking about get down to the granular things. Those of you that pick up the phone and call, if you don't have a goal in front of you, not up here, if you don't have a goal in front of you, you are lessening your chance of becoming successful. Because, write this down, what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. It's like the one time that you went to go buy that car, and all of a sudden, that car was on the road everywhere, right? That Cherokee was on the road everywhere, right? That Nissan Pathfinder was on the road everywhere. It wasn't like all of a sudden that car just showed up and there was way more. All of a sudden, last week, there's 100, 200 Nissan Pathfinders being bought. No, they always were there. We have something called our reticulating activating system, or RAS, and what that is it's when we think about something, when we focus on something, we see it more often. We see it through. And so for you, the first thing you need to do to find certainty is figure out what you want on a daily basis in all equities of life. In all equities of life. Remember, it's health, relationships, business, finances, your spirituality, and then your personal life, your leisure. Figure out what you want and watch how the universe responds. The next is I. How do we win? I. Intentional. Intense implementation, right? When you can have this like intentional, intense implementation, you can't be stopped. You just can't be stopped. When you know what you want, and then you take this massive, aggressive, empowering action on a daily basis to be better than you were yesterday, not better than your competitor, be better than you were yesterday, you cannot be stopped. And when you do that day in and day out, and it's not just in my business, but when it's like, I'm taking intentional action, intentional implementation to be with my baby today, right? To be present on this call, right? To be present in meetings. When you do that, you become more aware of the opportunities around you. So if you're sitting there right now and you're contemplating, well, okay, I know what I want, but I just have trouble taking action. I'm going to give you one little tool at the end of this that's going to help you with that. But you have to realize in order to win during an uncertain time, you got to know what you want and you got to take intentional implementation into that. Now, the next thing is one of the biggest things that I had to overcome. If I were to ask you right now, who's the biggest doubter in your life? You can think about maybe your mother, maybe your father, maybe your friends. Yeah, they probably doubt you for whatever reason, whether it's to keep you safe or jealousy. Let's not talk about them right now. We don't have enough time. What I want to talk about is the biggest dream killer in your life, the biggest naysayer in your life. That's you. See, you are the biggest naysayer in your life. And the coolest part about that is, guess what? You can control that. You can control the conversations you have with yourself. And so when you're thinking about going out and you want to win during these uncertain times, figure out what you want, take intentional implementation, and then stop self-doubt. Stop this negative talk. I get a lot of people that say, John, show me how to go ahead and create more sales, how to have better relationships. The most impactful conversation you will ever have is the one with yourself. Because that right there will determine the rest of the conversations you have. The most impactful conversation you can have is the one with yourself. Stop doubting yourself. Stop taking that limited belief that somebody once told you couldn't do something and start living in that. See, I have limited beliefs as well. The most successful people in the world do. The difference is we don't breathe life into them, right? We don't breathe life into that self-doubt, that negative talk. So when you're waking up every day and you're having this conversation with yourself of, should I do this? Should I go out and make these dials? Should I start my own business? Realize that conversation needs to be empowering. It needs to be beneficial and serve you and conducive to what you want. And if you're self-aware enough to see that thought, that conversation is not benefiting you, what are you doing to stop it? Because maybe somebody had said something that hurt. And you carry that into all your conversations. Maybe somebody did something to you that it hurt you, and you carry that into the rest of your life. I'm not saying those things aren't facts. What I'm saying is those circumstances are not your fault, but how you respond to it is your responsibility. You know, what I've learned over these years of massive transformation is that I got a superpower and so do you. And that's our perspective. That's our perspective. When I activate my perspective on a daily basis, when I see something that doesn't serve me and I can activate that perspective to change the way I look at it, to make it serve me, benefit me, add value to me, I'm light years ahead of anybody that's on my tail trying to get after me. I'm crushing who I was yesterday. Guys, you have a superpower. It is your perspective. You need to activate that on a daily basis. That will be the game changer for you. When you're on the dial and you all of a sudden hear somebody and they curse you off or they hang up on you, how do you change your perspective in that moment, right? With all these things going on, right? The rioting, the looting, coronavirus, what's your perspective on it? You know, I had somebody reach out to me today and he's like, oh, these rioters and everything else, you know, it's driving me crazy. I said, listen, I cannot focus and try to create certainty on those things. I can't control that. I'll let the universe handle my light work. I'm going to control what I need to control, which is winning, which is figuring out what I want, taking intentional implementation, and then N, stop being a naysayer, stop being the biggest doubter in my life. And I'm going to end with this, guys. I know it's scary out there. I know you have fear. Everybody has fear. You've heard it before, right? Fear is either face everything and rise or F everything and run. But fear shows up to activate your courage. And it takes courage to be successful. I'll repeat that. Fear is only showing up in your life. It's only showing up in your life to activate the courage that you need to become successful. So don't be afraid of fear. Use it as a trigger to activate courage to get to where you want to go. Fear is not your enemy, only if you allow it to be. See, I use fear as leverage. When fear shows up in my life, I know that it's telling me, activate that courage, John. Go for what you want. Because on the other side of that, I promise you, it's beautiful. It's everything you wanted and more. But while doing all these things, be present in the moment. So, yeah, asking yourself what you want, there's probably some fear that's going to come into your mind. Taking action, there's going to be some fear in your mind. You know, stop self-doubting, there's going to be fear. And that's okay. You don't need to get rid of the fear. What you need to do is have a different perspective of what that fear means. What that fear means is it's time to activate the courage to go after what you want once and for all. And guys, always remember this. It starts and ends with you. You're in control. So you want to find certainty? Find certainty in the things that you can control on a daily basis. That's your habits. That's your perspective. That's everything in between. But just remember that life is nothing but the sum of the choices we make, right? You've heard that before. How do I make better choices? It's simple. I ask better questions. So in order to create the life I want, I just need to ask John Marrone better questions to get better results. And so when I see that fear, right, when I have that self-doubt, it's what questions do I ask myself that's going to generate a better answer that's conducive to where I want to go. If you guys have any questions, follow me at Real John Marrone. It's down here somewhere. There it is, right there. Follow me at Real John Marrone on Instagram. Hit me up. Slide into my DMs. Let's have a conversation. I would love to hear your story. Any way I could add value to you. My podcast, Power of Progression. Go check that out. All social media platforms. Or just go to my website, johnmarrone.com. But thank you so much for jumping into my session. I know there's amazing speakers today. But reach out to me. Tell me what some of your takeaways were. But before I exit, I do just want to leave you one last thing. And that thing is something about being present, because I think during everything that's going on right now, it's so important to bring your power back to where it is. And that's being in this moment and realize that everything you want in life, I promise you, this is coming from a kid who thought it was going to be over many of times. It's out there for you to go get, but it's up to you. You're in control. So how to find certainty? Go figure out what you want. Take intentional, intense implementation. Stop being a naysayer. It's a naysayer. When you see fear, say thank you, because all it is there to activate that courage that you have inside of you to go after what you want. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you, brother.
John, thank you, man. I appreciate that you would do this. You know how much I appreciate you, I hope by now. But, you know, the day I met you was a good day, and I've enjoyed having you be part of my life and my growth and my journey. And, you know, I'm looking forward to many more moments like that in the future. But thanks again for doing this, dude. That was awesome.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Crush today. Everybody, make sure you give Eric some love, man. This takes a lot of work putting this thing on. So I appreciate you doing this, man.
Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Later, guys. Have a good one.